Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else in between, good evening and welcome back to Predicting Tranquility, the show that shows that I'd be a very good candidate on The Bachelor, because I keep breaking up with a different team every single week. My name is Bowsy, and hold on a second, I'm feeling a little bit naked with with my analysts here. Give me a second. There we go.
Mask Squad.
Mask Squad indeed. All right, there we go. My name is Bowsy, and I am your host for tonight. And of course, as usual, I'm joined by my two wonderful co-hosts. First off, straight off the Iris podcast, it's Nagisa. Welcome to the show, Nagisa.
Thank you.
And also coming off of a very good win last week with the Luminous Foxes ringing for them, it is Nerfed. How are you doing today, Nerfed?
I might as well be an official player. I'm ringing this week too. My support line just keeps disappearing.
There's nothing you could do about it. Obviously, Clem has a worse brig than you, according to Talking Ben. So
Talking Ben is never wrong, but
Talking Ben is never wrong. Sorry, Eddie. But we're going to be getting started here. Of course, if you aren't aware, we're here to break down every single match that is happening this week. All 39 matches, all 79 teams will get some sort of award here. And we're going to get started with the entire shebang. Nagisa, take it away with EU Harmony Group A.
All right, so hopefully I do this right. But it looks Venice Vipers versus Apollo. We all have 1 to 3 in favor of Apollo, which is interesting. And then Pay to Win versus Feeders United. Bowsy has a 2-3. I have a 1-3, and Nerfed also has a 1-3.
Yeah, EU Harmony Group A seems to be the most easiest for all of us, considering that we kind of know how these teams are going to be ranking out. Paid to Win, I still feel like has a chance. They lost, of course, last week to Apollo, but I still feel like they have a chance at this. It's going to be interesting to see how these sort of matches play out. Again, anything can happen, especially here in the EU group. But moving on quickly away from EU Harmony Group A, we're going to be moving over to EU Harmony Group B. Nerfed, take it away.
All right, so already we have a little bit more variety. Me and Bowsy going 4-0 in our first match, Thunderbolt versus Snubble Gold. Nagi, however, with the 3-2. Everybody in favor of Thunderbolt, though. And then Hellhounds versus Asir. Bowsy has map 5 in favor of Hellhounds. Nagi going the opposite way, 3-1 for Asir. And I went for a 3-1 for Hellhounds.
Yeah, definitely. Hellhounds versus Asir is definitely going to be an interesting match. This will basically determine who's going to be the top seed right now in EU Harmony Group B. And both of these teams look very sort of scary and have had some consistent results. Hellhounds was one of my top 4 teams this week, so I put them as a 3-2 victory, barely edging out Asir. But it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams match out. Nagi, I want to ask you less about the Asir pick, because Asir obviously are a wild card. You can never really predict them, right? Map 5 situation between Snubble Gold and Thunderbolt Rewind. Care to explain why?
I just like throwing in the 3-2s. I like Thunderbolt, and I think that those teams are pretty closely matched. So I think it's gonna be just one of those close matches.
Good. I mean, it's always good to have that sort of variety. It's always good to have those 3-2s, those 3-1s, those drawn maps.
Not every match can be a 4-0.
Not every match can be a 4-0, and also drawn maps. You know who you are last week, but we're going to be moving on from EU Harmony Group B and heading on to our final group in the EU Harmony Elimination Group. Starting off with our first match, EU Scrimbucks versus A10 Esport. No surprise, everybody here on the desk in favor of EU Scrimbucks, though Nagisa giving a map over to A10 Esports. And our second and final match in EU Harmony is Frequency versus Orthus. No surprise, everybody here in favor of Orthus, but Nagisa, a map 5 situation between Orthus and Frequency. Definitely interesting prediction in my book.
Are you asking me to elaborate on that again?
Is it because you like map 5 situations?
Yes.
I
want to see Frequency take it somewhere, They haven't really had that yet, and I want to see a close match, so I want to believe in them and give them a 3-2.
You know what? Hey, I honestly kind of agree with you. Bouncy Mouse on the Widow, probably one of the best Widows in EU Harmony tier right now, but definitely showing that Frequency is a weird team. They play a lot of weird comps. It'd be interesting to see if they throw off Orphis, who is kind of inconsistent, haven't gotten a lot of big wins, so it'll be interesting to see how they go this week. But yeah, that's going to do it here for EU group. Now we're going to be heading back across the pond over to our Harmony group. Starting off with NA Harmony RMA. Nagisa, take it away.
Okay, so Frost Nova versus Koala Kings. Bowsy has a 0-4 in favor of Koala Kings. I have a 3-1. I think I might have mixed that up. I
love
think it's
it. I
supposed to be
love
the other
it.
way around. But and so 1-3 should be for me in favor of Koala Kings, and nerfed 1-3 as well for Koala Kings. And then for Doodles versus, I think it's Luminous Foxes. Okay, Bowsy has a 2-3 in favor of Luminous Foxes. I have a 0-4 in favor of Luminous Foxes, and so does Nerfed.
Yeah, Doodles kind of upset me last week by not showing up to the match when I predicted them to win. Thank you, by the way, for ruining my prediction there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this match because Doodles are always a wild card. I've classified them as the Chengdu Hunters of Harmony tier. You can win and you can lose to Doodles. You will never find a way to beat Doodles. They are a mess. So it'll be interesting to see how Luminous Foxes adapt to that. And also, really, Frost Nova versus Claw Kings will be interesting. Yeah, Nagi, I was going to ask you about the Frost Nova pick, but you did say in the forum 3-1 for Frost Nova.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
So that's what I assumed. Maybe Boof will be able to fix that. I believe he has the power to be able to do that, but I changed it here on the stream for you, so now it is fixed into the right way. But that's going to be interesting to see these matches pan out. Now we're heading over to RMB Group. Nerfed, take it away.
All right, so our first match, we got Gehenna Gatekeepers versus Chrysalis. Bowsy and Nagi have a map 5. However, Bowsy went 3-2 for Gehenna, and Nagi went to Chrysalis. I had a 3-1 for Gehenna on that one. And the second match, we had Jersey Boys versus Frost Bloom. Everybody in favor of Jersey Boys. However, me and Bowsy 3-1, and Nagi went with a 4-0.
Yeah, Frostbloom are an interesting breed. Getting that win against Gehenna Gatekeepers was big last week. They really were shown that they could be really good here. But now they're going up against Jersey Boys, which many people are hyping up to be one of the best teams in Tranquility right now. It's going to be interesting to see how they go. I expect them to take a map here. The Gehenna Gatekeepers versus Chrysalis match, however, I think is going to be interesting. These are two kind of mid-table teams that are facing off. Chrysalis have Sergeant Pepper on their team. Gehenna really hasn't had a star player from what I've seen. But I picked Gehenna just because they have more consistency in their sort of roster development. Nagi, why did you pick Chrysalis?
I picked Chrysalis because, I mean, they are a little inconsistent, like you said, but seeing Gehenna before, I think it was lose to Squall, kind of put me in more of a position to give it to Chrysalis. I think it's going to be close either way, but I think Chrysalis will be able to just kind of edge out the win.
To correct you there, Gehenna went to map 5 against Squall, but did win the series. So.
Okay.
Even still, that's not like the best result, especially against a team like Squall.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how these two teams fare out here and which one's able to come out on top. But that's going to do it here for NA Harmony RMB. Now moving on to Harmony Indigo A, starting off with our first match, which is Amateur Professionals versus Strix. Both teams looking for redemption after last week. Everybody here in favor for Strix. Nerfed has a clean sweep. Nagisa has a map 5, which, I mean, she likes those map 5s, so it makes sense. But I have Strix taking it in 4 with Amateur Professionals taking a map. And our second series and final series of this group is Galactic Penguins versus Big Bang Buccaneers. Everybody in favor of the Penguins here. Nagisa and Nerfed have a map taken by Big Bang Buccaneers. I have a clean sweep for Galactic Penguins. But yeah, definitely interesting matches all across the board here. And this group definitely is going to be interesting to see how these teams pan out.
Finally, I think the CCT isn't sleeping on Penguins anymore. Good job, guys.
Yay.
I never did.
I never did. I told you. I mean, I kind of instigated that mess, so that's why I kind of like. That's what you can blame me for that podcast discussion. I said last week, don't sleep on this team. Literally got a mention this week from Stico saying he said don't sleep on Penguins. I'm like, God damn it. I know, cool. You won the match, but don't turn it into a meme. Don't become like the Joey Esports of the Harmony tier right now. But
it's like a reverse Joey Esports though. Like, I feel like a lot of people like Galactic Penguins. Like, nobody likes Joey.
They have Cryptic.
They have cryptic.
That's why I'm a fan.
They have Navino who's smelly, but they do have cryptic.
Yeah.
So.
Mm.
But anyway, that's gonna do it here for our NA Harmony Indigo A. Now we're moving on to NA Harmony Indigo B. Nagisa, take it away.
All right, we have Squall versus Nemesis. Bowsy has a 0-4 favor of Nemesis. I have a 1-3 favor of Nemesis, and so does Nerfed 1-3. And then Geometric versus Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies. Bowsy has a 3-1 favor of Geometric. I have a 0-4 favor of Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies, and Nerfed has a 3-1 favor of Geometric.
That is definitely, yeah, I will say, when I saw this Geometric versus Fire Breathing Rubber Duckies, when I was putting these scores in, that score that you put in, Nagisa, really interested me.
I love how I'm like the only one you're really asking to like elaborate on scores.
Your scores are the most different of all of us here.
Okay, yeah, I know. I have weird scores. You know, I'm a fire breathing rubber duckies fan. I like them. I like their logo. I like their team. I think they have like I think their team is like not only fun, but I think they have just like a strong team, and I think they have good mentals. They're good people, so I feel like they can pull it through. I'm giving them the 4-0 because I believe in them.
Okay, definitely going to be interesting to see these sort of matches. And I apologize for putting you in the spotlight so much, but
Okay.
it happens. It happens.
I'm at the bottom of the scores for a reason. It's fine.
Don't put it like that. But now we're going to be moving on to our next group, which is the NA Harmony Elimination Group. Nerfed, take it away.
Oh, I got the big one. All right, first match, Wildfire versus Shake and Bake. Nagi and Bowsy going 3-2 for Shake and Bake. However, I went for a 3-1 Wildfire. Then our next match was 3.5 versus Turbo. Me and Nagi went for a 4-0 Turbo, and Bowsy gave 3.5 a map. Should I take a break or
You can do the other two right now.
Okay. Then our next two matches, we have Steam versus Boop. Me and Bowsy have a tie map in there. I have 3-0. Bowsy has 2-1, both in favor of Steam. And Nagi went for a 3-1. And then the last match was Fighting Potatoes versus Fahrenheit 972. Bowsy putting another tie in there, as much as he hates them, 3-0. Nagi 4-0, and I went for a 3-1, all in favor of Potatoes.
What do you mean I gave the same? What do you mean I put two Steam logos in there? But yeah, definitely gonna be interesting.
What did I said tie. I thought.
No. It was my fault. I put two Steam logos on the sheet. I swear I put that. I swear I fixed that. Apparently OBS didn't want to listen to me, but oops. Fixed it anyway. But still, definitely gonna be interesting. And also Steam. Let's remind ourselves the only team to draw more than one map in stage number 1. And this makes sense that we both put draws here, Nerfed, honestly, because like they're sort of a wild pick no matter what. And also Fighting Potatoes versus Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit are also a wild team. They play Bastion comps for crying out loud. So
didn't they also have a couple ties in stage 1? I feel like.
Yes, they did. I'm pretty sure they did. I actually Nerfed. Now I want to focus over to you here. Shake and Bake versus Wildfire. Elaborate on your 3-1 prediction for Wildfire.
So I have, as much as you can say, I've been big on them for an Elim pool team. I think that Wildfire have a lot of potential to make it out of this group. I haven't really been impressed with Shake and Bake, anything that I've seen from them. Obviously losing to Chrysalis, and I didn't think they played too close against any of the other teams in that group. But I think Wildfire haven't had the chance to prove themselves yet, and I think this is going to be a week that they can prove that. Like, it's hard to say, but like they're not like a great team, but like they're gonna make it out of Elim pool, I guess.
I see people mocking me in Trike General chat with the production standpoint. Look, production's hard. You try doing it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see these sort of matches play out and which team's going to be able to come out on top. But that's going to do it here for the Harmony bracket. Now it's time to move over to some Discord. You know, we love it. We love the drama. No, we don't. Moving over to our Discord tier with NA Discord RMA, our first match is SEAL Team Spuds versus Valkyrie. Everybody in favor of SEAL Team Spuds after Valkyrie had that bad loss last weekend to Redacted in a map 5. And then our second match here in Discord RMA is Redacted versus Cosmic Castaways. Also, I should mention 3-1 for me and Nerfed for Seal Team Spuds, 3-2 for Nagisa. But the other match, Redacted versus Cosmic Castaways, me and Nerfed thinking a 1-3 for Cosmic Castaways. But Nagisa already mentioned on the podcast, 3-2 for Redacted, riding the Redacted hype train.
Yep. I think they're going to keep that momentum from last week's match now that they're on the radar, I think it's just going to be an interesting match no matter what. And I really do think it could go either way. But, I think Redacted is going to keep riding that high and win.
I don't personally see it, but I would love to see that. Like, that would be the highlight of my week if this team pulls it out from underneath of Castaways. That'd be really hype to see.
Yeah, I love Redacted, honestly, after last week. But it's hard to put them against Cosmic Castaways. But if they somehow make it, that will be the highlight of the week. And I forever will be a Redacted fan, honestly. Like I was mad at them at the beginning of the season because they ruined my prediction for week number 3. Still, I feel like Redacted are starting to finally wake up and they're starting to show them their stuff here. But that is going to do it for Discord RMA. Now moving over to Discord RMB. Nagisa, take it away.
All right. So Ragnarok Fenrir versus Firefight. Bowsy and Nerfed have in favor of Fenrir, and I have 1-3 in favor of Firefight. And then Oreo Fleet versus Oath. Bowsy has a 3-1 for Oreo Fleet, as do I, and then Nerfed has a 4-0 for Oreo Fleet.
Yeah, Ragnarok Fenrir versus Firefight is going to be interesting because, Thuggington bashes on Fenrir for being a Thor org. Thor plays for Firefight. So Thor's going up against his own org. If Thor loses to Firefight, or Thor loses to Ragnarok, I think that says a lot about Thor in general. Nagisa, I'm guessing that's why you put Firefight in front to make it so Thor can have his dominance over his own org.
I like Firefight. I don't know. We'll go with what you said. Yeah. Crush his own org.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that GM dominance. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put words in your mouth. It's just funny saying.
No, they're great words. I'm taking them. I agree.
Yeah, Thor org can't win against Thor. Thor has to be better than the Thor org.
Thor versus Thorg.
Thor versus Thorg. I have lost my tongue at this point, and the math doesn't help. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see these sort of results from Discord RMB. But now moving on to Discord Indigo A. Nerfed, take it away.
All right, our first match, we got Joey Esports versus Renegades. Bowsy, 3-2 for Joey. Nagi went 4-0, and I went 3-1, all again in favor of Joey. And our second match, Quokka Queens versus Space Created. Everybody went for a 3-1 in favor of Quokka Queens there.
Yeah, Quokka Queens looking for redemption after losing to Joey Esports last week. I have mentioned it several times. Renegades are a dark horse. You do not want to underestimate Renegades. They have not gone a series without winning at least 2 maps. They have always won 2 maps in every single series, and sometimes they've even won those series. Don't count out Renegades, or else you will lose to them in the worst possible moments. I think they can bring it to map 5 against Joey, but I'm giving Joey that edge. I'm sorry, Renegades. I am a big fan of you, but I think Joey is just a little bit better. If you want to prove me wrong, do it. I don't care. Do it. Break my entire prediction. Break everybody's prediction by beating Joey Esports next week. But it's going to be interesting. Just like Redacted. Just like Hammerhead.
I'd love to see it.
We would all love to see it. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. But now that's going to be doing it for Discord Indigo A. Moving into Discord Indigo B. Just had to check that real quick. Yep. Moving into Discord Indigo B, our first match is Rampaging Inferno versus Domination. Everybody here in favor of Domination. A clean sweep for me and Nagisa. But Nerf thinks that Rampaging Inferno will not go down without a fight and will take a map off of them. And our second match here of Discord Indigo B is Hammerhead versus Frost Surge. I predict a map 5 situation that Frost Surge take advantage of. Nerf predicts a clean sweep by Frost Surge, but Nagisa going off the deep end, literally, and choosing Hammerhead to take on Frost Surge here, or the Hammerhead to beat Frost Surge here. Definitely an interesting pick.
Is that another ask me to elaborate? Yeah.
If you want, yeah.
Okay. I like Hammerhead, or I like their logo. I think these two teams are kind of like they're both like it could go either way kind of situation, but I like Hammerhead, so I picked them.
Yeah, I don't blame you for liking Hammerhead. Obviously, their big upset against Oreo Fleet turned a lot of heads, and they went on to get themselves into B pool, eliminating Alt F4 into the elimination pool. So they have a lot of stuff behind them. It's going to be interesting to see how they do against Frosters this week, and if they're going to be able to ride that momentum forward. They obviously lost a tough knit match to Domination last week. I think of that as a Pegapants diff, because if Pegapants is on the Junk or the Echo, you are never going to win. That's just me saying that, but it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. But that's gonna do it here for Discord Indigo B. Now heading into the Discord elimination pool. Worth noting, Infernal Foxes get a bye this week because there are only 7 teams in the elimination pool. There you go. Nerf is celebrating that. Unfortunately, Nerf, you won't be able to cover the rest of these.
Well, I mean, okay. With that, we're 2-0, so we already made it out, right?
I believe so. So congrats.
Ah.
congrats on getting out of that. But now we're going to be moving into this. Nagisa, take it away.
Okay, we have Alt F4 versus Storybook Heroes. A 2-3 from Bowsy in favor of Storybook Heroes. I have a 4-0 in favor of Alt F4, and Nerfed has a 3-2 in favor of Alt F4. Rift versus Monarch. I think that's Monarch. Yes, okay. 4-0 from Bowsy and me in favor of Rift, and a 3-0 from Nerfed in favor of Rift. And then I feared when I would get to the point where I don't know at all who these logos are for. I know Poseidon.
Poseidon is the one on the right, yes.
The one that's got the poison name.
Regicide.
Okay. Regicide versus Poseidon. Bowsy says 3-1 in favor of Regicide. I go 2-3 for Poseidon, and Nerf goes 1-3 to Poseidon.
Yeah, definitely. The Discord elimination pool is a very weird beast right now. Because you have like Inferno Foxes, and that's really the only team I feel like that will definitely be making it out of this. Like, that's the team that we probably could all predict had a very rough stage number 1 in the pool of death. Now they're coming into this. They've already gotten out of the elimination pool. The rest of these are all up for grabs. Regicide is such a weird beast of a team. They're incredibly inconsistent, and they run a lot of wacky compositions. Poseidon is a weird beast where they take maps off of certain teams and don't really get anywhere. Rift is Alta 4 is an interesting beast, winning their first 2 matches in map 5s and then getting swept 3 times to get eliminated down here. Storybook Heroes are an interesting beast where they won against Monarch, took some interesting maps across the board, but still could not get the victories that they needed. Rift is an interesting beast. You get the point here. Everybody here is an interesting beast that could win at any given moment. This pool is ridiculous. I'm just going to say that right now. This pool is ridiculous. And any of these results could go one way or another. But I went with my gut for some of these. I like Storybook Heroes. I think that they are an underrated team. They've made some good roster adjustments to help with that team. They've been pretty good this season. Alta 4 has not had a lot of traction building up since those 2 wins. So I'm betting on Storybook Heroes there. Regicide, I'm buying for the chaos to come out in the end. It's going to be interesting to see how these matches go here and which one's going to be able to come out on top. But that's going to do it for this wacky Discord elimination pool. Now moving on to Transcendence Aurum A here. Nerfed, take it away.
All right, the first match we got Zeus versus Epizeuxis. Everybody going 4-0 for Epizeuxis. And the second match is Devil Dukes versus Reckless Arcadia. Everybody went in favor of Devil Dukes, however, me and Nagi won 3-1, and Bowsy went for a 3-2.
I'm a Reckless fan. I think Reckless can take this team to map 5. They took a map off of Epizeuxis last week. I think they could take Devil Dukes to a map 5 here. And also, sorry, Zeus. Again, I talked about this last week. You're kind of the odd ones out in this group. I mean, cool. If you take maps off Epizooks, it's cool. Prove us wrong. Get rid of those 2 extra points that we get for getting the correct match score. But it's going to be interesting to see how these teams duke it out here. Obviously, a lot on the line here, but that's going to do it here for Transcendence RMA. You can tell it's been a long night, but now we're going to be moving on to the next group, which is Transcendence RMB. Starting off with our first match, which is the Billings Boomers versus Vengeance. Currently, everybody on the desk is favor of the Billings Boomers. I have a 4-0. Nerfed has a 4-0. Nagisa giving a map over to Vengeance. And the second series here is Uzumaki versus Maelstrom, which looks like a very hypnotizing matchup. Just saying right now. But all of us also in prediction of Uzumaki. 4 0s for me and Nagisa, a 3-1 for Nerfed. Really, I think this is just a group of Billing Boomers and Uzumaki.
I kind of take this back because I know in my heart that Maelstrom are going to forfeit this match, and it's just going to be a 4-0. So,
all right, I'll change that. I mean, looking at Maelstrom's record, I don't blame you for changing that record because
they've played 1 match. It's been 6 weeks. I just, oh no.
They're in more spicy water than the original Maelstrom has ever been in. And that's a fact. But that's going to do it for Discord RMB, or Transcendence RMB. Now moving on to Transcendence Indigo A. Nagisa, take it away.
All right. We have Carnage versus Battalion. Bowsy and I go 3-2 in favor of Battalion, and Nerfed goes 3-2 in favor of Carnage. And then Decapitators versus Insidious. And we all just say 3-1 in favor of Decaps.
Very weird coincidence that we all chose that, especially when you have a player from Decapitators on the show right now, not going 4-0.
Okay, 2 reasons, okay? 1, I don't want to curse us and say 4-0 and then something happens. And 2, I think Insidious is a good team. We've gotten 2 weeks in a row 2-1-1, okay? So I was like, all right, you know what? 3-1.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I will definitely give that to you. Definitely the most interesting matchup in this group is going to be Carnage versus Battalion. I think I can go without saying that. Nerfed, how does Carnage get the win against Battalion?
All right. I've talked a lot of shit about the Carnage support line, but that I think is going to be the difference maker. I think that Kip and Gusty, they are going to be the tipping point for Carnage to just bring them right over the edge of Battalion.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be interesting.
And Bernie coaching. Forgot to say that. Bernie coaching.
Yeah, Bernie in the chat calling Nerfed the GOAT. So definitely up there in that sort of bars. But still, it's going to be interesting to see that matchup. I'm looking more forward to the main tank matchup. Ravage versus PDK on main tank. Might be very interesting. It'll be interesting to see how these 2 teams face off here and which team's going to be able to come out on top. Yeti talked about this is Carnage's first test because they've had a lot of easy matchups. Billings Boomers wasn't that great. Insidious, kind of average or like in the top, but still not the best team. This is their first test. If Carnage can take on Battalion, we can consider them a top team. But that's going to do it here for Trans Indigo A. Now moving on to Trans Indigo B. Nerfed, take it away.
I'm typing in chat. I'm not prepared. Okay. Meraki versus Reckless Sigma. Everybody went for a 4-0 in favor of Sigma. And then the second match, we have Puerto Rico versus Throwing or Bad. Bowsy and Nagi going for 3-2 in favor of Puerto Rico. I went for 3-1.
I'm out here writing my predictions out because I write all my predictions on paper for those who aren't aware. I was writing my predictions out. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for a ballsy move, Puerto Rico 3-2. And then I saw your prediction. I'm like, dang
it! You can probably just expect me to do a 3-2.
Well, no, it's just like I think Puerto Rico is a really good team. And I've constantly talked about how they are the Map 5 kings. They have gone in preseason. They pretty much won only Map 5s. And I believe some of their wins in the regular season thus far have been Map 5s. I think that they're a really good Map 5 team. So I think that they can make an effort here. It'll be interesting to see how Throwing a Bat in Puerto Rico bring it out here. But that's going to do it for Transcendence Indigo B. Now heading on to the Transcendence Elimination Group, which had a lot of shakeups last week. And I was pleasantly surprised about what happened last week in this. And I'm pretty sure our analysts can also vie for what happened. But starting off with our first match, which is Swarm Hornets versus Danger Close. Right now, I have a map 5 situation where Danger Close win. Nagisa has a full sweep for Danger Close, and Nerfed has a 3-1 victory for Danger Close. And moving on to our final match of the night here, it's Rat Society versus Fahrenheit 214. I have a 3-1 victory for Fahrenheit. Not Nerfed has the exact same score, but Nagisa a 4-0 victory for Rat Society. Care to elaborate?
Well, Decaps played Rat Society, and I think that Rat Society is a good team that just kind of was messing around a little bit earlier on. And I think that they're probably looking to not mess around as much now that they're in this bracket. And, I don't know about Fahrenheit 214. I just haven't seen a lot of good stuff from them personally. So that's why I gave Rat Society the 4-0.
It'll be interesting to see how Rat Society do, especially after losing to Danger Close last week. So definitely going to be interesting to see. Rat Society... No, you go first.
I was just saying, I love hearing your sigh after I say something that's like completely like out of left field.
I mean, listen, Rat Society, I have only gotten 2 of their matches or 3 of their matches correct all season. They are a mess. I cannot predict this team correctly for the life of me because all they do is keep messing up. They look like they're a really good team one week, and then they just flop the next. I don't get it. Please make up your mind, Rat Society. I'm done with you. I hate you.
They played a map 5 series in 2 in a row against one of arguably the best teams in Trans Tier, and then the next week a map 5 against the worst team in Trans Tier. So it's just
I'll never get Rat Society ever. But that is it. All 79 teams, all 39 matches happening this week of Tranquility. But now, of course, we have to go through the ugly part, which is what happened last week in our rankings. I will say, Nerfed already puts out a sigh. The rankings were kind of messed up last week. They were very bad. Like, very bad. And you're going to see how bad they are because I'm showing the top 5 for the content creation team first. In 5th place is PDK with 48 points.
Oh no.
Mind how low that point total is for 5th
If
place.
PDK's in the at the bottom, something's wrong.
I mean, it sort of is wrong when I'm tied for him with 48 points as well. I'm in 4th.
No.
I forgot to get the numbers correct here. My fault. They should all be in 4th place. We should be tied for 4th place, but we aren't. In 3rd place is Mr. Yeti with 52 points. In 2nd place is Nerfed with 56 points. And in 1st place, Navina with 58 points.
No.
It had to happen once. It had to happen once.
Has he gotten it?
I'm pretty sure this is his first time getting 1st place in the week.
Oh no.
People are calling for a recount. Honestly, Boof, get on it. But now we head over to our weekly leaderboard for this week of Tranquility Gaming standings. In 5th place, of course, Mr. Yeti with 52 points. In 4th place is Greninja with 54 points. In 3rd place is Nerfed with 56 points. In 2nd place, actually tied for 2nd place, is Glitch with 56 points. I was off my game, but you know what that means. Navino wins the week.
He won? Oh no.
This man's ego is not going to be unrivaled going into this week against Renegades. I'm scared. We all should be scared. We thought PDK winning was bad. Wait until Navino starts taking the top spots on the leaderboard.
We gotta delete the VOD. He can't see this.
We have to delete the VOD, honestly. But speaking of the leaderboards, it's time for the top 5 all-time this season, which had a lot of shakeup, unfortunately, like the rest of them. In 5th place, Nerfed with 340 points all-time this season, making her appearance on the leaderboard. In 4th place is Cry with 345 points. In third place, we don't need to talk about him. In second place is Toxic with 349 points. And in first place overall, unfortunately, Mr. Yeti, as putting in the title, no one can beat PDK. He's still in first with 364 points.
That's such a big gap.
It is
Holy.
a pretty big gap thus far. The PDK, I think, might be locked in for the top unless he just blows the playoffs. So it's definitely going to be interesting. But that is it. That is everything that we cover here on Predicting Tranquility. Oh, and by the way, no drop frames today. I finally have found the method. It took a wireless adapter, but I finally found the method to getting no drop frames after 30 minutes. Any last comments from you two before I head into what we're going to be seeing this week for matches?
All I want to say is to my team, so I can just tell them anyways, but I hate my team because they're making me ring 3 weeks in a row.
I feel so sorry for you. I wish the best of luck to Luminous Foxes for having to deal with Nerfed, and I also wish Nerfed the best of luck.
Okay,
to
I
deal
would
with
have
Luminous
been
Foxes.
so much like more fine playing against Koala Kings, but Doodles is just I'm not excited to play against Doodles.
Nobody is. I tell you, nobody is. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see these matches this week. Speaking of the match this week, make sure you stay tuned for all our feature matches. Tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time is Amateur Professionals versus Strix. That's going to be an interesting match. As someone who played on BBB last week, Amateur Professionals are a really tough opponent. It's going to be interesting to see how they go up against Strix. Make sure you watch that match. Wednesday at 8:30 Central European Time or 2:30 Eastern Standard Time is Hellhounds versus Asir, our Harmony EU match of the week. Later that night, we have Meraki versus Reckless Sigma at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, our Transcendence tier match. On Thursday, we have our Discord tier feature match between Space Created and Quokka Queens at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, followed by the Beat Drop later that night. Make sure you stay tuned to everything that's happening in Tranquility Gaming this week. And also, Yeti hinted at those other tournaments happening for other games, League of Legends and Valorant. Make sure you stay tuned for information on those. Those are stuff you don't want to miss, especially if you're a League of Legends or Valorant player, which I'm not. But yeah, that is going to be it for all of us here. Thank you all for watching Predicting Tranquility here today. For Nerfed and Nagisa, my name has been Bowsy. We thank you all for watching. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing night.